Greetings, this is Sloshworks. Welcome to our brand new series featuring Banished by Shining Rock Software. I have a few ideas for the kind of series I want this to be, and it's a little bit different. And well, I think the best way to do this is I'll show you the game, I'll give you a bit of a run through on how it works, and then after that I'll talk about what I was thinking about doing with this and see if you guys think it's a good idea or a bad idea. But to start everything off, Banished is basically, it's a city building game. It reminds me a lot of the Settlers, and since I'm very old, I remember playing Settlers 1 back a very, very, very long time ago. And this game reminds me an awful lot of that, without the combat part of it. One of the things I really love about this is you're not really struggling against other races or civilizations trying to attack you and take you over. You literally are just a small group of people back in medieval times, just trying not to starve to death in winter. And it's very zen, and it's very calming, and the music's lovely, and everything's wonderful, and then you just starve to death. And I've played through about 4 or 5 different towns, and I've learnt what works and what doesn't work, and I still starve to death in the end, but I'll show you what I've learnt so far. So I say we should call this Sloshville. And we'll go through a few different seas, get something cool. Valleys rather than mountains. We'll go a medium map to start with. I think we'll keep it on fair because I've been starving to death on that anyway. Definitely leaves disasters on because if we don't have them, how's that fair? And we'll start on medium. Basically, hard, medium, and easy. Just it determines how often disasters come and how harsh things are, but also what you start with. So on medium you start with 5 families, clothing, food, firewood, tools, and a storage barn, and some seeds for fields and orchards, which as you get into the game you find out that you can't actually plant more than maybe 1 crop or 2 crops, and you don't have any animals whatsoever until you can actually afford to get them from a passing trader, and you never really know what they're going to bring with them. So let's start. We'll go OK, and it will load our map. The graphics in this are absolutely amazing. This whole game was made by just one guy over a period of about 3 years. I've been following it for the last 6 to 8 months, and I'm so very, very happy to finally get a chance to play it. Alright, so I've pressed spacebar and I've paused everything. If we zoom out, you can see we have a fairly big map to play with. Got lots of different resources, got lots of lakes and stuff like that. But this main river here is where the traders will come down. There's no connection to other maps through the edge or anything like that. So we do need to live near the river. Okay, so basically we'll zoom in right up here. You click on people, they've got names, you can find out what they're doing, you can follow them, and it'll just keep following them no matter what they do. But the thing about this game is it does end up being, you need to keep an eye on a lot of different information, and the truth of the matter is if you don't keep an eye on it, you will die. And I'm just going to quickly save it because sometimes the autosave because sometimes you can lose your save with the autosave function working the way it does. So basically what we've got here, we've got all the different professions. You can see we've got 10 labourers at the moment. You can click through, see where they are. You've got all these different things, and I mean you'll have to balance farmers in summer and gatherers and fishermen and hunters in winter, but I'll show you that as we go. So we're going to need a trading post here, and we're going to need some fishermen there. I guess we could fish over there. That we could probably build a pretty good one there and get a lot out of its range of effect. But right now you can see we've got 18 people without homes, which is this little house icon here, and we've got 10 adults and 8 children. One of the big things in this game is if you don't plan ahead, you can end up with a population that's too old to have kids, and once they die of old age, you're pretty much stuffed. And if you expand too quickly, the children who don't work will eat all of your food, and you'll starve to death anyway. So the whole game is it is a balancing act that will probably end up with you starving to death. So have a little bit of a look around. I think up here we'll build some gatherers and some hunters and some herbalists, and they can use this old growth forest here as their base of operations. I think we will build our homes around here. So we've got our homes, they can bring our food back down here, store all of our stuff here, and we can kind of work from there as a bit of a base. So basically what we're going to do, this is basically where you build stuff. So you've got, this one is houses and roads and storage markets and stockpiles and stuff. And we've got the town services, which is well, schoolhouse, hospital, that kind of stuff. Food production, resource gathering, which is really important. I'll show you that as we go. And this one here is the removal and destruction tools. So that's not just knocking down buildings that you don't really want anymore, it's everything from gathering. So we've got 10 labourers. What we really want to do, we've got enough stuff here to start with, but if we come over here, and I think that's a bit too much, basically we'll just clear that area, and I think we'll only take it up to about 5 times speed to start with, so I can kind of talk as we go. We build ourselves a couple of houses. So this one here won't take any clearing, so we'll just build that there. You can rotate it with R and T. And you can see this little green line at the front with the arrows. You can build roads over that, so that helps you actually set it up. You can see that that's the same level as the one next to it, and if you build it there, you have a road in between them. So pause it and I'll show you. You can see now we need there's a total of 4 jobs available for builders, because there's 3 for each house. So if we go like that, we now have 6 labourers and 4 builders. And that essentially the basics of how the entire game works. It's way more complicated than that though. Don't think for a second that it's not a very difficult game. So I think we'll build a stockpile here. You can see this one is a 4x6. So we'll build another one on the other side of the storage barn, which is a 4x6 as well. And you can see there's one tree there, so they need to remove that before it becomes a storage pile. But we have 6 labourers and 4 builders, so that shouldn't take too long at all. I think I'll just speed it up to 10 so we can get to see something more interesting. So in here, let's pause it again. These things here, you've got the gatherer. They're actually really, really good at feeding a reasonable sized town. So you can see the circle around, which will be their, how far they'll roam. And if we put it there, gatherers do a lot better in well wooded areas and stuff like that. They get mushrooms and berries and that kind of stuff. So if we put that there, we can see that that is sitting right there. If we get a hunting cabin, so you can see that's there. And if we go across and go up, you can see that they're sharing a road now. For when we actually want to build one in the future, we won't have to build as much. So we'll start both of them, because we really do need them, trust me. And we'll go down and see if we can actually see any builders getting involved in doing stuff. So looks like they're going over here and starting. And as you expand, the only way for you to get more children to grow up and become more adults so that you don't starve to death in the woods is to have a new house, because each house really represents one family. You started this game with 5 families, so you really do need to build 5 houses relatively quickly, because you don't really want to hit that first winter without anything. Let's gather a little bit more stuff. You can see this gathers everything. That's just trees, just stone, just iron, and that gets rid of roads. So we'll get rid of You can see there's stone here, iron here, trees. We'll just clear a big chunk of that because we've got enough storage here. They'll be able to fill that up. So get rid of that stone as well. See, they're bringing some stuff up here to build these things, which will be essentially our only supply of food to start with. Let's see if we can actually build a fisherman that will use the most possible. I think down here it's using more. Yeah, I'm happy with that, so we'll chuck that there as well. And all that food should head down to this storage barn because that's where you keep food. The stockpiles are for raw materials like stone, iron, coal, wood, that kind of thing. And this one is for, you know, all the other kind of stuff, so that's close enough to them. Still got 10 people without homes, so might as well chuck another couple down. So we'll turn around and we'll chuck them right behind the other one. Another one. Okay, perfect. Start time again. And we'll see what happens. So a lot of this game, as I said, is very calm and you spend a lot of time watching numbers and all that kind of stuff to make sure that you don't miss something or you end up in a position where you're pretty much screwed. Summer 1, a child named Ilu was born because we have a new house, and a child named Linetti. So we can actually find them. They'll be in there. So we got Ilu, who's 0, and we've got Linetti, who's there. And as our guys run around and start building stuff, you can see there's a question mark here, and we can put a couple of gatherers on. So we've got 2 out of 4. 4 would be the most you could have in this area, so it would be the most efficient, but we really don't want to get rid of too many of our labourers right now. I think we might even take the builders down to 3 out of 5, so we've still got a bit of a split, because that should be finished pretty soon. We've got all of the materials there, they're just building it. I might pause that as well, so we don't have to do that straight away. We definitely need homes. Okay, so as you can see, they're chopping stuff down and they're taking it over there, and some of them are pissed off they don't have houses, but we'll be sorting that out as quickly as we can. And now it becomes a game of just balancing what you need to get through each and every winter. We're already down to 300 food, which is quite concerning, but that should be built pretty soon. And then food should start coming in down here. So, early autumn 1, the reserve of food is low. So, it's already low. Okay, so that's going to be complete. And then, I mean, I've shown you the basics, and we're going to keep going with the series anyway. It is an absolutely amazing game. So, we'll chuck 2 people on there. We'll unpause that one. And we will pause the one that no one started on. So now I thought I'd talk to you about this strange idea I had the other night while I was half asleep. Alright. So what I've been thinking is, I'm a big fan of podcasts. And I've been looking for something I can do kind of late at night when the kids are asleep, and we don't have, I can't be that noisy, I have to kind of be a bit calm. I'm looking for something to do that's relaxing and still entertaining and fun for me, and hopefully for you guys too. And the idea I came up with is a little bit strange, but it's essentially a series called Late Night Banished with Sloshworks. And that would involve me playing this game, hopefully not dying. I mean, we're probably going to starve to death now, but we got some food coming in. Playing playing this game and talking about what I'm doing in this, and talking about what I've learnt playing the game and all that kind of stuff. But also telling stories, because I've always wanted to do a podcast, but the difficulty with that is schedules with all my friends and their children, and when we're available on all that kind of stuff. And I thought it might be something that you guys might be interested in. I mean, just playing this game gave me the idea, really, because it is the kind of thing where you can set some things up, and it takes a little while for everybody to actually get anything done. So what I was thinking was, it would be the game. I've recently been, well, I've always been interested in better quality scotch, and I've been convinced to start drinking it properly, non-mixed, and I got given a bottle of the Macallan Fine Oak Triple Cask Matured Highland Single Malt Scotch Whisky, 12 years old, which I'm going to and I've never really been able to do the straight spirits before, but I'm actually getting really into it. As another part of the rambling idea is to do what is essentially a hybrid podcast game, let's play, and scotch tasting. And how's that for random? So what I was thinking was to start off, I'll give you a bit of an example. You can see that I've still got food, I'm not starving to death yet. It's getting to late winter as well, which is good, because guys don't like working cold too much. And we've got enough supplies, so we should be able to go. And we'll just watch our guys working and looking cold and being unhappy. They went through that whole first winter with no extra firewood bought, but we had some left over, so that was good. But I thought I'm Australian. I mean, I'm sure you can tell that I'm Australian. And I know that we have a reputation for living in a country where basically everything's trying to kill us. And I thought I'd share with you a bit of a story about something like that. I have two actually, and we're at about 18 minutes. So anybody who's still listening right now must be at least partly intrigued by this idea. So basically, I grew up in Perth, Western Australia. It is the most isolated city on the entire planet, and there's not much to do there. So we grew up surfing and drinking, and being basically beach bums, which is the Australian term for it. But there was one night at one of our local beaches called Cottesloe that one of our... See, I think I'll actually chuck a fisherman here as well, because we're not really getting as much food as I hoped we were, so we'd better do that. Hopefully this one hasn't... Oh, it's been started, that's okay. We can work with that. So we were actually out surfing, night surfing at Cottesloe Beach, which is, as I'm sure everyone's pretty much aware, night surfing is possibly the most dangerous and stupid thing you can do in a place where there are great white and tiger sharks. We were actually out surfing when it was so dark that the only way we could see the waves coming is because we had to lie down, get as close to the surface of the water as possible, and we would basically wait for the waves to block out the moon. Well, we've got someone dying of starvation already. That's okay, be fine. Fishermen over there, get rid of some of the builders. We've got 2 gatherers, 2 fishermen, 2 hunters. That should be enough to get us through. And let's just rip out some more of this stuff. Problem solved. I might chuck a gatherer up there as well, actually. Actually, this is a pretty good example of what I'm talking about, because we will have to stop the stories to work out what we're doing as we go. But yes, we're out surfing at Cottesloe, and we're out for 2 or 3 hours, unable to really see until the waves blocked out the moment. We knew a wave was coming, we'd turn around and paddle, we'd ride the wave to shore. We're dying a lot, but that's alright. We'll recover. It's okay. I feel a little bit bad now. There's like children starving to death and stuff, but it's okay. Ooh. Anyway, so yeah, we'd been out for hours and hours and hours, and we actually got home, and our mothers were very concerned. They said, "Where were you? Where were you surfing? Where were you?" We said, "We were at Cottesloe." And they said a great white attacked a man in a canoe at the beach next to Cottesloe at 5:48 or 6:15 or whatever it was. I said, "Were you there then?" It's like, well, yeah, we were there for another half hour after that. So apparently this rather large great white had been hanging around right where we were, and then not 200, 300 metres down the coast had actually attacked somebody in a canoe and taken a bite out of it and a chunk out of their leg. So you have that moment where you sit back and you think, well, that could have gone differently, couldn't it? That could have gone really, really poorly. But it didn't really stop us. And these are quick stories. If you guys are interested in hearing anything, I will be actually preparing other ones for future ones. This is kind of just to test the waters and see if you guys would be interested in hearing anything more. But the other one, I used to work at a supermarket. I managed the grocery section on most of the days, and I also worked the fruit veg 2 mornings a week. And I started work at 4:45, so it would have been about 5:05. I was pricing bananas, which is definitely one of the things you want to be doing at 5 in the morning. And basically, to do that, you've got a pile of crates of bananas on your right, you pick up a bag, put it on the weight, put the sticker on it, and as you're doing that, you're reaching for the next one, so you're never really looking in the crate next to you. And I got to the bottom of the first crate, and as I reached down, I felt something a little bit strange. And I squeezed it, and it moved. And I think I used the loudest profanity that I've ever heard, or anyone I know's ever heard. Because I'd actually picked up a 1.5 metre long snake that had been hiding in the bananas. It then kind of lunged at me and we dropped it, and it took us about half an hour to catch it. And then we had to call the ranger to come and get it, because you're not supposed to kill them. And I think it took them 2 hours to come and fetch it, and in that time it got out a couple more times and we had to chase it again and stuff like that. But it was a very exciting morning, and I didn't need a coffee to wake up after that. And I actually ended up on the local radio and in the local paper for that. If you guys want to see the newspaper article, I can post that. So, as I said, this has been a really rambling and wordy kind of video, but that's pretty much what I was thinking of. It's more of the late night radio show kind of feel, where in the middle of a story I'll stop and I'll talk about what I'm doing in the game, and then when we're in parts like this where there's not much for me to do, except wait to see if things pan out as I hoped, I can tell you another story. I've been thinking some of my friends might be interested in providing stories too, and yeah, I think it could be a lot of fun. So let me know what you think. If you think it's a good idea, if you think it's a terrible idea, just let me know what you think in general. Because I know it's a little bit different. But if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.